Greetings. Last time I left off, there was a storm, Helena, that was bearing down on Florida, and I believe it strengthened and hit, made landfall last night as a Cat 4. And may those people be safe and be able to get their lives back together. We were spared here on the east coast of Florida, but the bend in Florida around the Tallahassee area, rural areas of Tallahassee, not so much. I have a tentative update. The reason why I'm trying to wait is because I'm trying to find out any crumb of credible information, and I believe I have. So this is an update to the robbery. Nothing happened. Apparently they were apprehended. The products were retrieved. But because no one was threatened while they were robbing us, they've been let go. And rumor is that they were at another place the next day or following days, casing it and preparing to do the same thing again. And that makes me, I'm extremely disappointed. I'm just disappointed in the management team, the security team. I love the response from the Brevard County Sheriffs. They were spot on, but you always have those after action reports, what you did wrong, what you did right, how you're going to change things in the future, what to look out for in the present. None of that being said, and I had to actually ask one of my coworkers if I was going crazy, because it was just business as usual, and that blew my mind. It's a week ago today that this happened. Not a word has been uttered by anyone in management or anyone higher up than that, and that is as disturbing as it could be to me, because it seems like it didn't matter. We don't matter, our safety and security don't matter. The only thing that matters is getting back by 7 p.m. And that bothers me because what you've done, the groundswell of the narrative within the office amongst the common worker is apathy. And once you breed apathy into a place, you're going to have a hard time dissolving that. Because once you've taken away the tone of why, I don't care, there's no reason for me to do X, Y, and Z. There's no punishment associated with it. You've proven that there is no consequence, and you've also proven on the biggest of occasions that we don't matter. So why should I be putting my neck out? You know, personal pride, things like that. Yes, it's there, but within the office, it's going to be hard to resurrect, and that's something extremely difficult. And I was reminded by one of my coworkers, you have to be able to see the bright side of things. No one was hurt, etc. But there's also a realistic side for me. It's hard to find a balance in these situations because the black or white thinking tends to prevail, because I try to take the emotional side out. when I can. The emotional spike was just anger, rage, fury. It doesn't have to be this way. The worst part about it is those 3 kids were hiring. Could have come and got jobs where you don't have to worry about stealing. Again, there's a different way. So there's a balance here that I have to try to really research, because it put me into a state where at my time at ground zero, there was a feeling that is a trigger for me of helplessness. There's a feeling that I did not do enough, and then there's a feeling of of vengeance and anger toward the people who were responsible for this. And I have to be able to do what I talk about, sit with that individual who experienced those things, myself, in those dark times at this trigger point. When I'm reminded, one of my co-workers said, how does this put you into a trauma state? You're thinking logically. The trauma doesn't think logically. Your trauma state doesn't think logically. Because when you're experiencing trauma, there is no logic. It's just pure emotion in the heat of the moment. And then it's a survival-based instinct that kicks in. But your brain is recording all of it. And now you're going to have to deal with it later. That's some of the hardest things that you can do. Oh boy, he's a nice stick, Luke. He's coming to roll around for me. So again, it's something where having to grab yourself by the shoulders, say that you're not there, say that this experience did happen, and confronting those emotions that have been laying dormant for a while. It's difficult. There is no such thing as an easy use. And this is where the suffering comes in for myself, as far as the committing to something so physically draining, the ice bath, the cardio, the stretching, etc. It helps tremendously, because being able to think in those situations while under duress and achieve goals has been a bastion of strength for me, and I enjoy that so much. Still not well. I'm pretty sure I had the coronavirus. I'm so lethargic, but I'll be back at it very soon. And then I want to share with you one thing that helped me out and really became one of my best friends was during the military. I've always loved was music. They had a segueing out of this. Tonight the music seems so loud. I wish that we could lose this crowd. Look, if you ever, George Michael, look him up sometime. Careless Whisper. Sung his heart out, a lot of soul. But music was such a boost for me. I could put on Metallica, I could put on AC/DC or Motorhead, I could put on Outkast or Chopin or Bach. I could put on one of my favorites. Ennio Morricone, The Good and the Bad and the Ugly soundtrack. If you ever get a chance, the Ecstasy of Gold and El Trello, amazing songs. Just paint a vivid picture, no words. Just beautifully assembled music. Schindler's List score. That violin is as somber a thing as I've ever heard. It will make you weep. But it also invokes a amazing spirit of perseverance. And it really was able to help me identify. I didn't realize my sister was priming me. She would go in our room at night when I was smaller, and she would listen to Duran Duran and all of it was mostly Duran Duran. Dear God, it was a lot of Duran Duran, Cyndi Lauper, a lot of 90s, early 90s, late 80s music. Not a lot of hip hop, a lot of R&B. But then when she heard Duran Duran, there was posters all up and down her walls, and she would play the records over and over and over again. I hated the songs. I know every word now, and I even downloaded their CDs. I thought it was funny now. All right, I will talk to you again next time and start telling you about some of the hardships. Take care, and as always, be the reason somebody smiles today. Until next time.